Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or depending on what time you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Blumhouse is back, especially in the horror realm, with the release of their newest film, The Woman in the Yard. This is an interesting movie to talk about because I'm feeling very mixed about it. In fact, I almost walked out on this movie about 30 minutes in. And here's the reason why. If you've not seen the movie yet, I am going to give a big old spoiler warning because what I'm about to say could potentially spoil something for some people. The first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie does not hook you very much. It does not have a strong opening. I did not feel that engaged. I did not care that much about the characters at that time. I just wasn't invested. When I saw that dog come on screen, I said to myself, if this dog dies, I'm leaving. I was not kidding. I've learned my lesson before. And of course, it gets to that point where it's the scene where the mom is looking for the dog, and I'm literally was packing up. I kid you not. And they basically don't show the dog's death. It makes you assume the dog is dead, but they don't show it. And I literally thought okay, they didn't show the dog's death. I'll stick with it. So I watched the rest of the movie. It's not a long movie, so I only had about an hour-ish left at this point. However, it does not mean that the movie got that much better from that point on. I thought this movie was poorly executed. I assumed this was a first-time director making this, only to find out that the director, Jamie Collette Soar or something like that. He's done some pretty big movies out there, so I was kind of surprised to see his name attached to this movie. The plot felt very shallow. The story about the mom, single mom, dad died, very generic. The premise felt very this could work for a 15 to 25 minute short film, but did not work for a 90-minute movie, which is something we've seen with Blumhouse before. If you remember Night Swim that came out about a year ago or so, that was actually based off a short film that did not have a great feature film. And then we finally get to the end, and then you kind of learn about what's going on. And I must say, I thought the ending of this movie was pretty solid. Ultimately, it's about this mom who's struggling with her inner demon, and it's her struggling with the will to live. Essentially, we're just seeing her inner demon manifest itself. That's who the woman in the yard is. It's her. It's just what she's going through. And I actually thought, for a kind of generic horror movie, that's actually a pretty solid theme. I actually thought the ending of this movie is the best part, probably the last 15-20 minutes. And of course, the dog shows up at the end. I was happy to see that, and made me feel good that I actually didn't walk out on this movie. Anyways, that's my thoughts on The Woman in the Yard. I thought it was pretty middle of the road with an actually strong theme and strong ending, which is kind of hard to find for horror movies nowadays. And with this being a Universal/Blumhouse film, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this as a House at Halloween Horror Nights later this year. All right.
See you, chump.